So I absolutely believe, and this is just my opinion, that Donald Trump promotes McDonald's because it's a clan kinship kind of thing. I don't know that for sure. I just think that's what it is. It goes back to that, they have that kinship because they're both Scotland clans. Even though they went at war with each other, he loves McDonald's. He's very open about that. He's done this many times when he was in the White House, when he would have big events, like when he would have sports teams in. And sometimes it was, be something else, but usually it was always McDonald's. Yeah, with candles lit on the table and everything. So I think I could be wrong. Honestly, I could be wrong. I think there's more to it. I think it's because the McDonald's have, just like the McLeods, just like all the clans, but the McDonald's too, I think they're bigger than the McLeods. I think there's more of them. There used to be anyway. Who knows now? But they've done a lot. Besides their McDonald's franchise, they've done a lot in the world. I'm not going to get into that because the McLeods have done a whole lot too. Like all of their men went into military or police work. This would be why Donald Trump loves the military. I mean, not that anybody, you can't blame him to love the military, but why he backs the police. He wants to give the police the open, what they need to do their job and let them handle it. You've heard him talk about that. Well, it's because he comes from a long line of warriors, but warriors that, after the three independent, Scotland fought 3 times for their independence. So we're lucky in America that we got some Scots here, because I don't think we would have won a whole lot without their fighting spirit. That's what you need. They knew how to battle these people. They were dealing with the Roman Empire a long time ago. The Dunvegan Castle that's in Scotland, that belongs to the MacLeods. It's been there 800 years. So, and there's also, thanks to somebody who posted it in my comment section yesterday, said to look into Jacob's stone. Well, that was interesting because it goes back to the Bible. The stone of Jacob appears in the book of Genesis as the stone used as a pillow by the Israelite patriarch Jacob at the place later called Bethel. As Jacob had a vision in his sleep, he then consecrated the stone to God. More recently, the stone has been claimed by Scottish folklore and British Israelism. So England stole it from the Scots, the stone. Yeah, it's not folklore. There is an actual stone. Whenever Ireland or England, like most recently King Charles, we're not used to that here in America. We don't have kings. But if Scotland has a king, or they're going to do a coronation to a king, they will loan out the stone. But England had stole it from the Scots. And then they finally gave it back to them in 96, knowing that they're the rightful owners. And here's what is said about why they're the rightful owners, is because the genealogy, the genes go back to Jeremiah. The Scots genes go back to Jeremiah in the Bible, the book of Jeremiah, like literally Jeremiah. And so they are the ones that protect that stone. So a lot of people have wanted to claim fame to it, but ultimately everybody that has kings has agreed that the Scots are the ones that it belongs to. And it goes back to this book in the Bible. And it kind of makes sense if you think about it, that what are the Scots known for? Stonemasonry. I mean, that's like their claim to fame. So it fits. And then Jacob's dream, when he was sleeping on this stone, he had a dream, and his dream was the ladder going up to heaven, stairway to heaven. But in his dream, angels would come down and go up, as if God was sending angels up and down to intervene or help. And you can read it. It's in the Bible in so many words, and it's all tied to the Scots, genealogy-wise, which would kind of make sense, too, because of the fact that the Scots go back so far. I mean, the Scots go back before Jesus walked the earth. So the Scots, yeah, I mean, they would have, their histories, there's so much to their history. It's remarkable. I mean, unbelievable. So, yeah, so now the Scots have the stone back, and they will lend it out, and it is from the Bible when regarding Jacob's dream, and it's the stone he had his head on. And this is just a painting of the angels. There's another one too that I like even better. This one, because it just shows them going up and down and up and down. So, it's interesting because when I was reading up on the Jacob's Ladder and Stairway to Heaven, really, it was basically, I forget where I was reading it from, but it was basically that God didn't have a problem, like God had a problem with men back in the Old Testament building their tower up, trying to get to heaven, because that's not the way God wanted people to do it. God wanted the people to pray for him to flow down. And that's actually what happened in the Hebrides when they had revival, because of Donald Trump's mother's aunts that brought revival back. When they did that revival, what they did was they took increments. So the McLeod sisters would take like 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. and all they did was pray, whether it was in a church or at home. That's all they did. They pleaded to God. They prayed to God because they knew that their country, the Hebrides was falling apart. Everybody had turned away from God, and the economy was horrible. Everything was falling apart. And these women, along with some others, knew that God needed to intervene. So there needed to be enough prayer going up to God so that God would flow down. Yeah. And actually, that's what ended up happening. So that's why they took increments. So somebody was always on, a group of people, or I don't know how many, but was when the McLeod sisters would be done with their prayer interval, the Duncan Campbell, who was not a priest, but he was a pastor that was called to come there, and he was there during all this time. He's written about how God flowed down, and God, you didn't just see, it wasn't like what we would think, oh no, see, that's God intervening. No, this was literally that God flowed down and ignited people with the Holy Spirit. Like somebody would be just riding a bike down the street, maybe putting newspapers in people's mailbox, and just boom, it hit them. Yeah, it was most of the people. And that's what was needed for everything to turn around, because too many people fell away from what the most important thing is, and that's that you can't have success, you can't have anything. Even if you have it right now, you'll lose it all, because the more the people fall away from God and not realize that he truly does intervene, and you can pray him down to intervene, then your country goes to hell, which is where our country's at. So maybe we should take a lesson from Jacob's dream and the Hebrides, huh? I'm going to do another video to get into Malcolm McLeod. He actually is somebody who found these, the game chess, these chess pieces that were carved out of walrus. I can never say that animal's name. The walrus. The ivory tusks. They made these chess pieces, and Malcolm McLeod, who is Donald Trump's maternal grandfather, yeah, it says up here, was the son of Alexander McLeod and Anne McLeod. He is the maternal grandfather of Donald John Trump. He married to Mary Smith, an Isle of Lewis, which is the Isle of Skye, all that. It's all the different sects of the McLeods, the Lewis and the, the Lewis and Harris, I forget. But see all of them here? So that Malcolm McLeod has an interesting story, but all of the McLeods do. Most especially the men, really. But yeah, with these chess pieces that are really wicked looking, but I'll do another video about them.